So as COVID restrictions around the country have become more and more severe and less predictable, get the vaccine, you'll be fine. No, get the vaccine and you have to wear a mask. Get the vaccine, you get COVID again anyway, and you have to wear a mask and stay inside. How do you respond to this? A lot of people just moved to Florida. And that has infuriated the public health's theocracy, and it is, and their allies in the media. On Monday, Joe Scarborough's third wife explained that Florida isn't even a state at this point. It's a death cult.
And in Florida, we have a governor more interested in playing politics than saving lives, the DeSantis variant. That's why nearly 1 in 4 new COVID cases are coming out of Florida, and why many of their emergency rooms are once again jam-packed, and the state is weeks away from yet another full-blown medical crisis. Are you kidding me? This is completely preventable. And the governor of Florida owns this one. The most tragic part of this story is that almost all of these hospitalizations and deaths would have and could have been avoided if misguided Americans had not followed the crazed teachings of a growing death cult.
It is wrong to put people that unhappy on television. It's just wrong. Oh, but she had numbers. What were those numbers? Well, they're from the CDC. Earlier this month, the CDC claimed that 28,000 people had tested positive for COVID-19 in Florida on a single day. And that sounded pretty scary, but it turned out not to be true. Health officials in Florida proved the actual number is 30% lower than that. Oh, so how did the CDC get that number wrong? That's an interesting question. Now, part of the answer may be Ron DeSantis runs the state of Florida. DeSantis, one of 50 governors, but gotten more publicity than any other over the past year because, again, people are moving to his state. So in Washington, they look down at Florida and they think, oh, there's a potential challenge for the White House. And they get the CDC involved to make up numbers. That looks like what happened. Ron DeSantis joins us now with his view of what happened. Governor, thanks so much for coming on. So the CDC is what we in the business call the gold standard for medical data. How did they get it wrong by 30%?
Well, Tucker, was a standard data entry, and they took 3 days worth of data, put it over 2, obviously made it look like it was a massive increase. And, I don't know what exactly happened. I don't know what the motivation is. But as you alluded to, the White House, they're more concerned about trying to attack me than actually dealing with the problems of the country. I don't see them dealing with the border crisis. I don't see them dealing with inflation. Obviously, energy prices are out of control, but yet they have this obsession with Florida. And look, obviously, we're cutting against the grain. We're standing up to federal overreach, and we're proud of doing that. But they should really focus on getting the job done that they were elected to do, and they're not doing that right now.
Well, if you're really concerned about the spread of COVID-19, and I think it's totally fair to be concerned about that, why would you let in tens of thousands of COVID-positive foreign nationals illegally into the country?
Exactly. And this is a president that ran saying he was going to shut down the virus. Well, how do you shut it down when you're bringing people, hundreds of thousands of people? But Tucker, they're from over 100 different countries. So whatever variants are out there are coming through that border. They're knowingly letting them in, and then they're farming them out all over the United States. Clearly, they have a different agenda at play.
So the White House attacked you recently for not forcing school children in Florida to wear masks all day at school. What's your response to their attack?
Well, I was also attacked last year for even having kids in school, Tucker. They said this was outrageous, that we would have in-person learning. We did it. We were the only big state to have it all year for all the parents, and it was a success. We know now about masks or no masks. You know how we know? Because there's a lot of schools throughout the United States and Europe that didn't have masks, including in Florida. We had some districts that had them last year, some districts that didn't, and there's no statistical difference in results from COVID as a result of this. And so our view is you shouldn't have government forcing kindergartners to wear masks for 8 hours a day. That should be a decision for the parent. And so parents in Florida have the ability to make that choice. Joe Biden and the White House, they think the federal government should force masks on kindergartners for 8 hours a day when they admit they do not know the long-term consequences of doing so.
And they're also saying they don't care what your doctor's recommendation is. So when the smoke clears from all of this stuff at some point, how are they going to defend abortion? It's no longer your body, your choice. It's no longer between you and your doctor. they've kind of given up the two pillars of their medical policy, haven't they?
They are basically saying that we are all just subservient to medical authoritarianism. Whatever they think needs to be done, we have to submit to it. It's probably, Tucker, the most significant threat to freedom in my lifetime, certainly since the fall of the Berlin Wall, because taken to this illogical conclusion, you end up with Australia, where they're forcing lockdowns at the point of bayonet. So they've come a long way in their ideology.
That's for sure. If they can make you do something unreasonable, there's nothing they can't make you do. I appreciate you coming on tonight. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. Thank you.
Thank you.